Hello, Kazina here, Karen, and today I just want to talk about my Amiga. Um, my Amiga that I have now is an Amiga 1200. I got it a couple of years ago, and I also got with it hard, uh, a little hard flash drive, I think it is. Hard drive, flash drive. Anyway, it's a 4 GB. It's got 4 GB of memory on it, and basically it fits into the IDE port, and it comes pre-installed with about 2,700 Amiga games on it. So when you switch on your Amiga, you get a lovely workbench type screen, and they put it into categories, and basically you name it, every Amiga game's on there for you to play and reminisce over without all the loading times or infamous disc swapping that used to happen when you used to buy a game like Waxworks or one of the LucasArts type games like Indiana Jones and such like. But anyway, just really want to talk about how much I love my Amiga, that it was my first love in gaming. Before that, I really used to play the Spectrum. It was my cousin's. I didn't actually own a Spectrum till quite a bit later, but we used to live in the same house, so was a lot of Spectrum gaming going on back then. But I never owned a console until I got an Amiga 500, which I had for years, and I mean years. I graduated from the 500 to eventually getting a CD 32 with a extra disk drive, and not a disk drive, a floppy disk drive, I mean, not for roundy discs, floppy disk drive, and a keyboard, extra memory and whatnot. And I had this set up for quite a long time. Used to love playing things like Simon the Sorcerer, Spirus Legacy, but God knows why, I ended up giving it all away, and I had hundreds of games, so much stuff, but I gave it all away some years ago, and gosh, talk about regret. So this is why I couldn't cope anymore, and a couple of years ago I thought, I can't be doing this. I miss my Amiga so much, I miss the games on it, and so thank you eBay, as per. I went out, as I said, and got my 1200, and with my lovely flash drive with all the games on, and I just think it's fabulous being able to play all those old games again. However, I must admit I'm not as good on the joystick as I used to be. I actually own about 3 different joysticks, and I don't want to sound like a lightweight, but I've actually got a Master System controller stuck into my Amiga, which actually works. You know, the pad, and I'm finding it a lot easier than the joystick. So, oops, I've lost those skills there a bit. And oh yeah, here's a question for you. What was the first significant Amiga game that you played that really you know, stuck in your mind? I mean, I think that, I mean, I know the first Amiga game I actually played and finished was Fairy Tale Adventure. I was always a bit of an RPG girl. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, and whilst I do like other genres, I must admit I love my RPGs and adventures very much, and for me, Fairy Tale Adventure was the first game I played and finished. God knows how I did though, because I've actually played it since, and tiny little sprites on the screen with this little nondescript sword. Gosh, I can't get anywhere in it now. But anyway, that was the first game I played and finished. But I can remember there was a few significant games that really had an impact on me. I remember playing Cannon Fodder, and I'm not really into war games very much, but I found that it was quite an innovative idea at the time, the way the gameplay was. And also, when you died at the end, or when you're, and it was game over, all the people that had died came up on the credits screen with little crosses next to them, and it was like serious, even though you were gaming, and it was war, and but it did highlight in a funny sort of way that war is not fun. So that kind of had a bit of an impact on me, but there was so many games on the Amiga, it's almost impossible to remember them all. I can remember playing Moonstone, and I used to love putting that in just to see the intro. It was sort of a very druid type intro. There were like these stones and these fellas dressed like druids, and this real foreboding music, and I don't know, was it something like lightning came down from the sky? And the game was quite good, but it never lived up to the intro, I thought. But I used to like putting that in just for the intro. I can remember playing a snooker game, and I'm not even that mad into snooker games. I can't remember what one it was. I don't know if it was Archer McLean's Pool, Jimmy White, God knows. There's one where the ball's on the table. If you took too long to shoot, they used to stick their tongue out at you and pull faces. I used to think that was a really good game. I really enjoyed playing that. Operation Stealth, that was another one. Cruise for a Corpse, Waxworks. Waxworks is a bit creepy actually, but the back then the constant disc swapping, I think it came on something like 10 discs, and there were times when it gave you the pip a bit, because you'd go like 3 steps forward and then it'd say swap disc, then you'd turn a corner and go around another one and swap disc. So that kind of hampered the play a little bit, but I really quite enjoyed that. It had an Egyptian theme to it, Jack the Ripper theme, which was quite freaky. Well, I thought it was back then. What else did I enjoy playing? I loved Defender of the Crown. It was a bit cheesy, but I mean, back then the graphics were just out of this world. I mean, it was like there was nothing like it, even though the sword play always looked a bit hooky, but the rest of the graphics were really good, and the jousting looked brilliant. Used to like playing that, and it was one of those games that you could actually play and finish in a few hours. I remember it wasn't a long game, so I used to get quite a buzz out of it, because it was like, yeah, I can play this and finish it. James Pond, quite like that, and I'm rubbish at platformers. I don't hate them, but I'm not very good at them. But I quite like James Pond. I thought that was really good. His little claws used to grab the roof, and he used to be like on a big spring or something. He used to whoop high up into the air. Oh God, I'm on a reminisce at the moment. What else did I used to play? The First June, I remember that. It came from the desert. Oh, well, Secret of Monkey Island. Yeah, I played and finished the first one. The second one I only played a bit actually. Sacrilege, but there you go. The first one I did play and finish, and I did really enjoy it. Lure of the Temptress I really loved at the time, but it was a little bit fiddly. It was one of those where it's like, you know, if you pick up this bottle and attach it to this nozzle and then attach it to this, then this will happen. So a lot of the RPGs on the Amiga were like that back then, and I must confess there were times I resorted to having to find out little cheats how to get through some of those games, because they were just like, you just needed the mind of Stephen Hawking to finish them. Well, I did anyway. So that's my little talk on an Amiga, and don't really know where I've gone with this conversation, but I just thought I'd have a little chat about how I, you know, love my Amiga even now after all these years, and love playing games on it. And hey, feel free to comment if you want, and if not, that's fine. I'm just having a Wednesday afternoon waffle as opposed to a Sunday afternoon waffle. Thank you.